Happy NFL Saturday. My four favorite bets today in the playoff games. We got the Browns versus the Texans in Houston. And then you have the Chiefs hosting the Dolphins in minus 5 degree weather. By the way, ladder day 2 did cash yesterday, so we're on to day 3. And let's go ahead and start with ladder of day 3. We got Joe Flacco, quarterback of the Browns, longest pass over 37.5 yards. That's minus 128 on Fanduel. This is hitting all 5 games the quarterback has played in this year. On average, he'll go over this line by 16 yards. That's almost half of the line itself. Flacco's played 5 games so far, gone over in all 5. He went over this line twice 2 weeks ago versus Houston, and completing a 53-yarder and a 75-yarder that you've already seen in this video. On his way, he threw for nearly 400 yards. Seeing as this is 5-0 this year, including hitting twice versus the Texans in one game, I'll comfortably make it day 3 in our ladder challenge. Just a reminder, that's on day 1, you bet $10 to win 20, and then day 2, you bet your 20 to win 40, and day 3, 40 to 80. After 10 days, if you start with $10, you've won $10,000. We've been able to do that twice, earning roughly $20,000. This is our 34th try, $340 in, $20,000 out. The second of my 4 bets today is Cleveland moneyline, minus 130, basically on any book. I don't mind laying the points, but I'm preferring the money line because the Browns went into Houston 2 weeks ago and dominated. But of course, CJ Stroud was not playing, and he is today. It doesn't really matter. The Browns are built very well to limit the Texans in the secondary and on their pass rush. On the flip side, the Browns showed they can dominate the Texans' defense. They're led by one of the best playoff quarterbacks ever in Flacco. And if the Browns win, he'll have more away playoff wins than any quarterback ever. He's currently tied with Tom Brady. Flacco also dominates in the playoffs in general, and the Browns should once again handle the Texans today. My third bet is a same-game parlay for CJ Stroud, 200-plus passing yards, and Flacco over 250-plus passing yards, minus 120 on FanDuel and Caesars. Of course, I've already mentioned Flacco, and I'll do that again later. It might seem weird to be taking the Houston quarterback in a parlay leg, but remember, they are very low at alternate lines. 200 is super low for Stroud. He should easily be able to hit that mark. He's averaging 275 per game. He's gone over 300 several times this year and even over 400 once. He is 12-3 to this 200-yard mark all year, which is fantastic, especially when you take into account one of those games he threw for 199, and the other, or at least the second of the third game, he got a concussion against the Jets and didn't finish. That is the Stroud part. Moving on to Flacco, who needs 250 or more passing yards. That's the second leg. We've already mentioned him a bunch, but since he came back in the league, he's been dominating. In 5 games, he has over 1,600 yards. That's a record for 5 games. Throwing for nearly 400 yards last time versus Houston's defense. He's 5-0 to this line, and he's averaging a crazy 323 yards per game right now. And then finally, in the night game versus the Chiefs hosting the Dolphins, might seem like a throwback. That's because it is Patrick Mahomes over 24.5 rushing yards, minus 125 on Bet365. We've made some money on this year. The Chiefs play the Dolphins in minus 5 degree weather with wind chill down to minus 20. But the extreme cold is not crazy for postseason Chiefs play. Andy Reid still heavily relies on Mahomes throwing the ball, which is when he gets his running opportunities. He's gone over this line 6 times out of 8 at home. He averages 28 yards per game rushing in Arrowhead and does his best when the lights are the brightest.